The Met Gala starts in less than 5 hours. Arise News will be on the red carpet and our coverage will continue throughout the night. But it's the second gala in a year. Organisers are catching up on the ones that were cancelled because of the COVID pandemic. Well, every year, Vogue magazine helps throw the gala to raise money for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. Celebrities and their stylists spend months choosing the perfect outfit. Often those outfits are making a bold social or political statement. So it's one of the most closely watched and red carpets of the year. Well, Arise correspondent Kachi Ophir is in New York for us, and she says the rain is not dampening the excitement.
It's the Monday in May, and you know what time it is. It is Met Gala 2022 time. For this year, the theme is In America, an anthology of fashion, where we will see the biggest fashionistas, the biggest celebrities within the United States of America, just showing us what it means to embody that Gilded Age, to embody and appreciate the unsung heroes of American fashion. There's so many celebrities we're expected to see today on the red carpet, from Kim Kardashian, well, Kim Kardashian, no longer Kim Kardashian West, to her new boyfriend, Pete Davidson. We're not expecting to see A$AP Rocky, but he might be with his partner, Rihanna, who's currently pregnant with their baby. We're also expected to see Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and we are definitely looking forward to how our celebrities are going to just pay tribute to the legend in fashion, former Vogue editor himself, Andre Leon Talley, whose memorial was just a couple of days ago. This year's Met Gala is going to bring together a two-part event that was put together by Andrew Bolton, where he was taking a look at American fashion from the lexicon, which appreciates the modern age, to today, which will then now take us to the anthology, which has to do with the previous, the past, just how we got to the moment that we are here in right now. So everyone is really excited, Heather. I am excited. Shortly, we will be getting into the red carpet at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where we will be joined by other journalists from around the world to just celebrate what the anthology of American fashion is exactly. My name is Kachi Ophir, and you can stay watching Arise News for us to give you all the details and some more to come.
Thanks, Kachi. Well, let's bring in Ruth Osime. She edited THISDAY's style magazine for over 20 years and is no stranger to a red carpet. Ruth joins me now in the studio. Thanks very much indeed. Now, are you getting excited for what you're going to see later on tonight?
I'm actually getting quite excited. The truth of the matter is that there are particular celebrities that have a look that they usually have. They always come out to, cause explosion with their statements, and I can't wait for that. I don't think there'll be too many surprises. I think the status quo will still belong to those who have always, all over the years, made some huge impact on the stage, the likes of Lady Gaga and the rest of them.
Yeah, indeed. Now, before we look at some of the outfits, or if we see some and talk about the outfits, what do you think of the participation between Vogue America and the Metropolitan Museum of Metropolitan Museum? What do you think of that collaboration?
Yes, when you say Vogue, I'm assuming you mean the forefront of Vogue, which is Anna Wintour.
Yeah.
Now, what Anna Wintour has done to the Met Gala is that she has actually given it a narrative in the fashion industry. She has made that show now one of the biggest fashion, in fact, the biggest fashion event in the whole world. If you recall, in 1948, when the Met Gala was opened and this costume department started, it was sidelined. It wasn't taken too seriously. Artists, what they call the real artists, the ones that were involved in the architectural aspect of art and the sculptural and also the painting aspect of art, they thought that the fashion was just a fly-by-night hobby. It wasn't anything to be taken too seriously. They didn't appreciate the depths put in a collection or putting clothes together. But what Anna Wintour did in 1999 was cause the biggest revolution ever, that by first starting with the likes of Alexander McQueen, and his collection evoked so much emotions and so much attention was globally drawn to it. And now what she has done over the years is use big designers to create collections that would attract celebrities, AAA list celebrities and what have you. And in fact, that segment, that department actually funds itself, unlike the other 19th century art, the architectural part, the sculptural and the painting part are still being funded by sponsorship. But
Indeed. When you talk about the sort of people who are going to wear this, they are costumes rather than fashion.
Oh yes,
aren't they?
it's a cultural movement,
Yes.
Heather. It's not about commercial fashion. It's a cultural movement. In fact, most designers have collections that they've built all over the years. So that whatever theme that the Met Gala is coming up with, they actually have something on ground. In fact, somebody like YSL, for instance, has about 6,000 items. Can you believe that? All frozen, all actually wrapped and kept. So that if it's a Chinese theme they want to do this year, they're ready. If it's anthology of fashion they want to do this year, they're ready. So designers actually build collections in preparation for their shows at the Met Gala.
Okay, so this year's theme is Gilded Glamour. It's
Yes.
so it's hark back to the Gilded Age.
Yes.
The 3 decades from
Yes.
the 1870s,
Yes.
which actually really set the pattern for America and its wealth
yes,
creation,
yes.
and it's where the big money, all the big, So what do you think, say, Saint Laurent would have in its stock
There
to
were plenty of
represent that?
surprises. I mean, I know it sounds conservative when you say the Gilded Glamour or when you say the anthology of fashion. Some people think, oh, because it's not extraordinary, because it's not avant-garde, that it won't be the same. But this is where true style comes in. The history of the evolution of American fashion is going to be depicted from the collection of the clothes that have been shown. So there are going to be a lot of feathers. There are going to be a lot of silk. There's going to be the men back to their white waistcoats.
Yeah.
Not very flattering though, because I mean white waistcoats don't do you justice if you have a bit of a pot belly. But it's going to be that white waistcoats, tailcoats. There's going to be plenty of fur, plenty of feathers. We're going back to the 60s, the 70s, all the way to the 19th century. So there'll be a lot of surprises. There'll be a lot of velvet.
Do you be
There'll be a lot of
any
silk.
corsets, do you think?
Oh yes, there will
Corsets
be
and bustles.
Yes, corsets and bustles. Yes, there definitely will be that. But because they're going to metamorphosize into the modern generation, it will be a transition from the beginning all the way to the end. I suspect the younger designers, because what Anne tries to do is not focus just on the big names. There'll be younger, newer, incoming designers that might probably focus more on the latter part, while the stronger bands focus on the older parts. In other words, the early 19th century, early 70s, maybe 60s, 40s, and the younger ones will probably introduce more of the 2000s, basically.
Yeah, talking about the younger ones, I mean, for the guest list, do you see you're going to see an equal amount of old Hollywood or Hollywood royalty, and then the fashion influencers, the younger generation?
I don't think the younger generation have the wherewithal and have earned the right to close triple A-listers. History always has antecedents, and everything you earn in life, you have to have earned it over time. So the likes of John Gallia, for instance, for this particular theme, which is the anthology of fashion, we have Oscar de la Renta and we have Halston. Now, Halston is not going to launch somebody who's not that well known. They don't need to. But for the younger incoming designers, any B-rated designer will do, which is why Anna Wintour is mixing them. First and foremost, I hope you do realize that it's $35,000 a head
Each ticket.
for one ticket.
One ticket.
And then it's $200,000 to $300,000 per table. So what she has done is that she knows that most upcoming designers can't afford that. So what she's done is that she has made the expenses of such incoming and younger designers fall under the well-known brands. And of course, the young designers don't even care if they're at the tail ends. They don't even mind being at the periphery, because as long as they're in there, it's good for their mileage, it's good for their branding. So I like the fact that she has managed to merge both.
Let's talk about Anna Wintour. I mean, she has an absolutely iron grip on it. They start doing the tape. She chooses where everybody sits.
Yes, she does.
In December.
But think about it. If you were to host an A-list party, for instance, a triple A-list party, what would you do? This seating arrangement really counts. You can't put a triple A-lister on a D-rated table. But the person on the D-rated table is glad to even be in the event. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of background searching. It's a lot of mixing and matching. But it's not as easy as it comes. I mean, you won't put a Beyonce with somebody who stars in some comedy or some series. So she's very good at what she does, and by the time you know how to mix and match, you get the best people that will complement each other. But don't forget that the Met Gala is not just about superstars. It's not about film stars. It's about business titans. It's about people in the tech industry. It's about people in the art industry. It's about people in the anything that is commercial, as long as you're on top of your game, as long as you're amongst the top echelon. So it's very important the way she mixes them, and because it will determine the success or lack of it from what the table setting is like.
Well,
as simple as it sounds.
we wait with bated breath. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Thank you.
You're welcome.